Welcome to All About TRH, aka All About the Truth. On today's episode, we cover the final part of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion and explain why we were so disappointed and dive into Summer House episode 4. Hi, Chantel.
Hey, Roxanne.
I'm absolutely gutted.
Okay, why are you in an accent?
Well, first off, I've been watching Traders UK and
Uh,
yes, and I just feel like do UK people say gutted a lot?
yeah,
Yeah, like, even
they
on Love
do.
Island, I noticed that so much, and I'm like, "Ugh, I love how they speak, and I wanna speak like that." So, I actually have this week off, and, basically, my maternity leaves luckily, fortunately, my company gives us, like, a couple weeks before we go into labor, uh, for time off, so I'm, like, getting all the babies' newborn clothes out from Charlie and Sloan. Thank God Chantal thinks
You're
I'm gonna give
nesting,
her.
right?
Yeah, Chantal thinks I'm gonna give her all my kids' clothes when she has kids.
I mean, like
Um,
after this, like you might as well just have a little box like for
a
Chantal,
little
and then
box, I literally have 700 boxes right now. It's so bad. With my girls, like, I went all out with clothes, and with my boy, my poor Jack. I'm just tired, so it's, like, hard, finding, like, really, really cute outfits, but so I've been watching UK on my laptop while I do all the clothes and all that stuff, and I'm like, it's so good. It's so good. You guys, if you have not gotten into Traders and you're like, I don't like these type of game shows, it's so good. So just get into it, and it's been fun watching that. So that's my
how
life.
many
Where are you at?
seasons does UK have?
I don't know. I'm just on season 1. I'm assuming they have another one. The one interesting thing about it is I realized, Chantal, that they all have the same competitions. So the UK competitions are the same that we watched in season 2. And then season 1, the American version, it was the same competitions as well. I feel like I
Yeah,
would
they.
study that to be good.
Oh, I know. And then they did like they stole not they stole it, but like they do like that's they got it from like
They
someone
got the
else. It wasn't.
concept, yeah,
Yeah,
from
it
UK
wasn't.
probably.
Yeah, it wasn't like originated in the U.S.
Yeah,
Traders wasn't, but
I'm not shocked. Like,
yeah. But no,
it's
I mean, some things, like, we do first, but then most of the things, like, it's funny that, like, now, like, Love Island and then this, like, they've taken
yeah.
from the UK. So UK is doing it with the, shows, huh?
I always talk to one of our listeners, and I always say to her, that I just feel like UK people are just so sweet and nice, and she had told me one time, and she was like, "It's an act half the time." I
Yeah.
was like, "We can't even act if we wanted to," but
Yeah, because, like, I
anywho.
watched Ladies of London,
Oh,
this show for,
yeah.
like, they weren't that nice.
Oh, really? Yeah, see,
Yeah.
like, they're probably, like, catty and yeah.
They're just very, like, blunt, so
Yeah. Well, that's the one thing about UK people that I have realized is they're very, very direct, and they don't get offended by things.
yeah,
Like, they don't do that where I feel like here in America, everything someone's offended by something. So it's a
exactly.
challenging world, you guys. It's a challenging world.
Ye
Anyways, okay. We're gonna have a UK listener be all pissed or something. So let's not. But Chantel, I the reason that I was saying I'm wait, why did I say I was gutted? Did I
Yeah,
already
because
explain it?
you lost your notes.
Yeah, you
That's
guys,
why, right?
so I was actually so excited about this Beverly Hills episode, part 3, because, like, obviously I'm toxic, I like the family stuff, like, I wanna see what happens, but I always wanna see resolve, and I wanna know about the Mauricio stuff, so I was, like, so excited, I watched it live, I wrote a bunch of notes, and then Chantal and I on Patreon, on our VIP, we're rewatching New Jersey, so we recap the episodes. I erased my notes thinking they were old notes because this is our 4th episode of the week. We usually do 3. And I erased my Beverly Hills notes and I lost them all to write over. So
Oh, no.
I know I'm like Googling things and even an All About TH
I
referencing.
have stuff
So
too, so
yeah,
I just
because
didn't paraphrase for this because, like, I thought you were writing the
right.
notes, but I have
Yeah,
stuff that we can, like, that I remember that we started off with. But do you wanna take the lead on this one then, or you want me to take the
sure.
lead?
No, it's fine. I can.
Okay.
Um, well, because I was just really, again, I was so excited about this episode. So the episode, it does begin with the whole Sutton Kyle stuff. I truly don't believe that Kyle likes Sutton in real life, but she tolerates her. That's
No,
just
I
my opinion.
disagree. Yeah, I
Really?
disagree. Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
I think that this, especially right here in, like, in the beginning of this, episode, you could see that, and it's weird because I think Kyle really does not know how to communicate well. Um, like, she was very hurt that she felt Son wasn't there for her, through the death of her best friend and, like, probably whatever else, and then all of a sudden you come right hand and you're accusing me of, like, of my marriage. So I think she was very, very, very hurt, and you don't get very, very hurt unless you're good friends with somebody.
I just think most of Kyle's friends are not like Sutton. So I'm like, would they be friends in the real world? Do I? I don't know. So, but I mean, Sutton says that Kyle was being mean to her all season. And Kyle, like you said, she basically responded that she was grilled about her marriage, and she didn't have any support. But at the end of the day, they think that they can become friends. We actually did find out that I think it was Sutton a couple days ago. I don't know where she said this, but she said that her and Kyle had gone to lunch. So they're not filming, they're going to lunch. I mean, that's a good indication that they are, working on their friendship.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. So Kathy Hilton comes out, and let me tell you why I love Kathy Hilton. Even though, like, I know Kathy Hilton is so controversial, but the reason she comes out and she wears what she wore to her Christmas party. She always hosts like a lavish Christmas party, and it's like only rich, confident people do that. Where you're so confident that you don't give a shit, and you're like, I love this outfit. I'll wear it
Exactly.
again, even though I wore it a few months back.
I love that too. I think that was great that she did that because it is beautiful. So like why wouldn't you wear it more than once?
Right. Yeah.
But like I
Exactly.
like I am a person, like I hate re-wearing things twice too. Like I just like I get bored of stuff, so fast. So that is
But
really good of her.
Chanel, I guarantee that was like $4,000.
More.
Yeah, exactly. So she's like, why not? And if when you look good, you feel good. If you had something that you like looked bomb in and you're like, why wouldn't I wear it
And
to
she did a
this?
glow up as well this past season. Looked like she
Oh
lost like a little
my,
weight.
yeah. Looks like, maybe
The
the
O.
Ozempic. I don't
The
know.
O was traveling in her water. I'm just
And
kidding.
even her face like does look a lot different. Like these ladies look well, see, people are going to disagree here, but sometimes I'm like, you guys kind of look better than you did 20 years ago. I mean, people will always do like a before and after of Kyle and they'll like clown on her. And
Well, no, because before she looks youthful, like you have age on your side,
yeah,
so you look
yeah,
beautiful. But then now, at the age you're at now, like you still like I don't know. So I think we're toxic and we like the look sometimes of
yeah, I think so
that
too.
look, but
Mhm.
because like I like it, but then it's like it goes overboard. Like I don't like in Miami because they just go overboard, but I love it and like the way that the Beverly Hills ladies do it a little bit. It's
Yeah,
it's like it's like they're going to the best of the best.
yeah, I know, Beverly Hills. I know. I told my husband, I was like, I want to get Botox like after this baby. And he was like to me, he's like, no, you don't have to do that. You don't do that. And he's like, and if you ever did, you'd have to go to Beverly Hills and do it like because it's the best of the best. And
For
I was
Botox,
like,
no Botox, you can go anywhere. I've done
yeah,
Botox.
yeah.
In
Uh
in my forehead only, but it doesn't do shit. Like, I don't know where these girls all of a sudden get this glow up because I look the same every time.
Yeah, like, I'm looking at so you don't watch Love Is Blind, which became a huge hit, and
I
the
used
girl
to, but, like, the last, like, 2
yeah.
seasons, I haven't.
So the girl that's, like, super popular is Jessica, and she's literally stunning, Chantel, stunning. Well, they showed us, like, her high school or college, like, photos, and you can just tell, like, she's had work done, but, like, she looks so different, but in a good way, and it's like, what do you possibly do? Like, how do these women come out, have, like, so much money to, like, spend on this? Because it's expensive, to, like, do Botox fillers, lips, keep up with all that facials, like, oh my god, it's so expensive. How do they do that?
Yeah, no, I know. I think
I
it's
don't
the fillers. The fillers is what changes your appearance a lot because like, you're really, like, adding things.
especially
You're
when you, like,
adding
overdo it.
Yeah, then they overdo it, so it's like there's, like, a fine line of plumpness to add to make it look, like, nice and then, like, smooth, and
I
then
al
'cause fillers smooth your face out too, like, it's
Oh,
like
okay.
yeah,
Well,
so
then I would like to get some fillers then because I'd like to smooth out my face.
But you can't
On
do it everywhere, so it's like if you do in your cheeks, you have a
Right,
smooth
that's so
cheek. Yeah.
scary if people did it everywhere. Do people do that?
People do obviously, they do their chin, their lips, some people do on their nose, some people do on their cheeks.
Yeah, I was also watching on TikTok, and it was, like, at a popular plastic surgeon place in either Beverly Hills or Miami, and they said, "What is the number 1 cosmetic surgery that is so underrated but completely changes your face for the best?" And what do you think it was, Chantel?
Mini facelift?
No, but that
Oh.
shit really does. That's scary. No, that is scary what it does to your face, like, it really is. I've seen before and afters. But no, they said a chin implant.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I can see that because people who don't have, like, a prominent chin, that's what Stassi did, and it changed her whole face.
Yeah, that's so oh my god, yes, actually, that's so
Yeah.
true because I went to, I worked with someone who I was friends with, and I swear to God, she did something with her chin, but she also did something with her mouth. She had something with, like, her gums. When she came back to work, not one of us knew who that was.
Yeah.
Not one of us,
I
and it
really
was
you guys,
amazing.
I can see that. I can see chin and eyebrows. Eyebrows just change your face.
Yeah,
Like, if you
yeah.
have, like, small eyebrows and then, like, you get it done to be proportioned to your face, like, it literally can change your face.
If I had, like, money, 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 like, oh my gosh, I'd be one of these little biatches for
Well,
sure.
let's thank God we're not, like, let's just be
Yeah,
happy
I
what
know,
God
right?
gave
Exactly,
us.
I swear.
Except I
Uh
tattooed my eyebrows some, but
Oh, okay, yeah. What's wrong with that? That's literally, like, nothing.
I know, but it's just funny how much, like, people do
You
small things.
microbladed your eyebrows.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
we
so
can
have
do it.
I. Like, what the I thought you were about to tell us something, like, breaking that you did. What? Okay, sorry, guys. Sorry. What Kathy Hilton's face really had us,
Yeah,
like, go
wow.
on a different topic.
But,
So
Kathy,
oh, yeah.
oh my god, like, I just wanna say before we get into, like, the details of things, but man, like, she, like, has me for a loop because
She's
I don't
crazy.
yeah, like, I don't, like, know how I feel. Like, I feel like I'm in a roller coaster with her.
She's our moms, but then she's not.
Yes, I that's why I get so confused with her. It's so hard, you guys. I don't even know how to articulate how I feel about her because
I
she
love watching her.
love watching her because, like, even the fact that, like okay, we'll get into it when we go into this the
Well,
topics. Go ahead.
Andy asked if I remember he said, like, "Do you watch the show?" And she was like, "Yeah, like, I watch the clips." And she always does crazy shit on Instagram. So she doesn't actually, like, sit and watch TV, but when she's on her iPad, she's watching the clips that come out and stuff. And, at this point, they asked Erica about Kathy, and basically, what did Erica imply? That people are scared of Kathy?
Yeah, exactly. She goes like, "Listen, like if you like the people, like reason people are nice to her is because like she'll shut
She's
you out of
Beverly
stuff.
Hills.
She's Beverly Hills. She'll shut you out. You won't get her invited to her parties. You won't do all that. And then like
She's best
Kathy,
friends with Kris Jenner.
yeah, and like Kathy is just like like laughing with Erica, acting like nothing happened. It's like she just called you out and said that you said the F word last year.
Well, yeah, exactly, which is so crazy, but it's Kathy's being so fake here, which
Exactly.
is
She's
so
just so funny. It's so
confusing.
confusing. And it's like, not confusing because we can see it, but like Erica's like, bro, like get away from me. But like Erica's obviously not gonna be crazy, like and be like that, defensive how she was, like probably last year. But like Kathy's just like, it's okay. Like, I don't even know
Yeah.
what she was doing. I'm like, ah.
Kathy or Sutton and Garcelle seem very shocked with Kathy being there,
Why
and
and why? Because if they were hanging out with her all year, like what was so why were you so shocked? Like what were you so scared about of her coming out?
I don't think they were hanging out with her all year. Like, I think,
They would go to
since
her
I think
parties.
they did, but then the show came on and they're watching back and Sutton said stuff on the show. Like Sutton was like, yeah, the reason that Kyle and oh, I mean that one scene, Chantel, that scene where Kyle's like, Sutton, you even said you understand where I'm coming from because Kathy called you and told you she didn't appreciate what you did. So you get it. So tell the story. And then Sutton was like, yeah, and we see the flashback of Sutton's like, yeah, I mean, I did see a different side of Kathy that made me understand where Kyle comes from. So it was that she was probably like, oh shit, like I don't want to be on the outs with Kathy, and they were like, they had no idea that she was coming, and she comes, and that's when again Erica's like, Andy is asking Erica, who do you think is the most afraid of Kathy, and I mean Sutton did look like off, and all of a sudden Sutton like faints. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? She was hungry, Chantel. Like she needed food. She probably hasn't eaten.
Yeah, I think as and like I'm sure she was like, it's a lot of pressure that's happening. She just dealt with a lot. You're screaming, like I can see that, but like it is crazy because like it is a high tense intense situation. That was the first that ever happened. Like someone actually like needing like a medic, on
Yeah.
stage. So like I felt bad for her. and she was so
Yeah.
scared because, like, you get scared you get s
She
like,
was
when
shaking.
yeah, when you're like, when something like that happens and then all of a sudden you get all the attention on you, automatically are just so, like, anxious and so nervous, and so she just, like, was scared at that point. It was like, "I'm scared, like, is everything okay? I'm just scared," like, and then you have everyone on you, and it's just, like, the most awkward, like, situation ever.
People implied online that Sutton was scared of Kathy at that moment and, like, her anxiety kind of lifted. Do you think Sutton is scared of Kathy?
I don't know. I think she was maybe getting nervous to like confront the situations and like like maybe she was just like overwhelmed. It felt like it was had to do something with like Kathy coming out obviously. And like the adrenaline of Kathy coming out like got her to like kind of almost have a mini panic attack.
Garcelle should have not went with her.
I agree. But like she's being a
Like,
good friend also. Like I
sure,
mean,
that's fine, and absolutely that's what would only make me think they were scared of, like, something, is that Garcelle would go with her, because I get she's being a good friend, but you didn't we no one would think you were a bad friend if you didn't go, if you stayed, like, this is your job. Like, we
and I
wait for
think
these reunions.
yeah, and some of them stay, like, I mean, some of them always have someone that they're close with that's staying in the back in the dressing room, I think, with them, so, like, maybe that
Yeah.
sort of person should have went. But I will say, because like, I am very hard on, like, Sutton and, like, ourselves sometimes, their place was missing, like, when we were watching the reunion and, like, then things were being asked, like, I was, like, almost, like, wanting to see their reaction, their, thoughts on things, especially because they're the most vocal, so, like, I wanted them to
Right.
get put on the stand about
Yeah,
it.
I would me too, I would have wanted them to, like, I was very upset with what ended up happening when Kyle was asked about Mauricio Morgan. So I would have loved for someone to challenge her, because, like, everyone's kinda scared too.
Yeah,
So I would have
exactly.
loved
So,
challenging, and we didn't get that.
yeah, I agree. So, like, I was like, okay, their place is missing, and of course, like, dumb, like, Crystal's silent and silent over there on that side, like, not saying anything. So, um, even with Kathy, like anything. But so, do you think that
Wait,
Kyle
no,
was?
before we talk about that, we need to talk about how Kathy acted when all of this was happening.
Oh, I know how she was like
She
acting
said she
oblivious.
was No, she just acted careless and then was
Yeah,
like,
that's what I meant. Sorry.
she's like, "I was about to go after Sutton too," and Erica's like, "Ah, ha, ha," and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is
And
like,
then like they basically insinuated that it was an act, like that she did that for an
it's
act.
not who, Kathy?
Yeah.
No, I just think Kathy is in Kathy's world. Like, she just does not care. Like, she's like, you're fine, like, relax. Like, even just like watching her in Paris and Love, she has that. But yes, for some people that's not gonna come off great. But I don't know why. I love watching Kathy. It is
But, like, she was such a conundrum to this episode. She was crying at some point. She was like, she just was so it was so odd watching. It was literally a roller coaster watching her.
yeah.
But do we think that Kyle really does get mad that because they show this that Kyle gets mad that people are friends with Kathy?
Um, I just think that I don't know. I think Kathy has a lot of power. She is the face of Beverly Hills. She's best friends with everybody. Everybody respects her. And I don't know, Chanel, would you get mad if I was like, if I implied like that's why you had friends?
Yeah, I would get mad about that. But I think the reason Kyle gets mad is that she thinks they see things that she's been saying and they don't speak up on it, but it's also not their
Dude, that's
place.
like her sister, bruh.
Yeah,
Like,
I know, but when she's like really not talking to her, like she like almost wants them to speak up on it.
I don't know if I like if that was genuinely my sister. Like, if that was like you, I don't know if I wouldn't care to prove like your side. I do feel bad about Kyle for one thing, and I do think that Kyle has to be silenced when it comes to the Hiltons, because you have Paris Hilton, who is like huge in the celebrity world, and Paris obviously doesn't give a shit. She'll go after Kyle and her family, like, she does not give a shit. So Kyle has had to be silenced when it came to them, and I think that because she's had to be silenced, like, she's like, it's bullshit. Like, why can you say whatever you want about me, Mauricio, or whatever, and your daughter, but then if I ever say something, you would never talk to me for
Yeah.
years.
Yep. Exactly.
So that's the only thing that I find to be annoying.
I agree.
They ask about Mauricio, and Kathy says, like, no matter what she and Mauricio went through, I remember she was just acting like, it's still like very sad. And she says that this would have been going on for 3 to 4 years, which Kyle denies. Kyle's like, "No." And I'm like, "Kyle, you're not gonna tell us anything, so just stop.
Yeah,
Just
but
stop."
I also think she's she's like that's not the timeline of my marriage. Like she was just saying like maybe I think I don't know. I believe Kyle in that situation. Like that's not maybe they have been going through problems, but she's like, no, bro, that's not the timeline of my marriage. Stop like insinuating that it's been 3 years of us
Yeah.
going through that. You know?
Yeah. They talk about, the agency. They talk about Mauricio launching his own real estate. Like, this is the first time we've always heard things, but again, Kyle could never really speak on it because Kathy would go, crazy. And they bring that up. And basically, Kathy's side of it is that they mentioned that even in his book, that he had said something like, if they had paid me what he deserved, that he would have stayed. And that when he left, that he did call on a Thursday, and then Rick asked him, "When do you plan on leaving?" And Mauricio said, "Friday." And, Rick said, "Your family just know when you're opening a business, the door's always open for you. But the one thing I don't want you to do is take my staff or my agents." And Kathy says that Mauricio did steal some of the employees from the agency, which is why they have this relationship of, it's hot and cold, and why Mauricio and Rick have not spoken at all.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And it's so hard because it's like when you are like the way the real estate world works and like how we've seen on the shows, like when you become a real estate agent, the better you do, the more you start getting people under your team and they're literally your team and you groom them and they do stuff for you and you all work as a team. Like
Yeah.
I would feel like those are my people. Even though they worked for your agency, they're my people. I groomed them,
Yeah.
I found them, I did it everything. I'm the one that's putting the time in. I pay them out of my commissions. It's our team.
But if it's and I 100% agree with you, but if it's the one thing this family asked, like, you have to respect it, or at least say, "Listen, in 5 years, if you want to come with me, but
Yeah.
don't do." And here's the one thing I don't respect about Mauricio is, like, if that was my brother-in-law, and my brother-in-law literally made me, which he did. He made develop Mauricio, and then Mauricio, like, he's a hustler, he's all that. And I, left because I did feel like you're shitting on me. You don't. There's no more growth here. But you're my brother-in-law at the end of the day. If you ask me, when are you leaving, I am not going to say tomorrow, because then it
Yeah.
looks like for months I've been developing this plan behind your back. I'm going to say, "Listen, I'd like to leave X amount of time, or, I'm willing to do what you need, close up on these, do this, do that, whatever you are comfortable with. Like, I don't want to leave you on that type of bad terms. Like, I don't want to leave the next day." Leaving the next day, like, there's a motive. Like, you've been working on this behind our back for however long, and you're ready to bounce. Like, you have already shit everything figured out. That's where I think Mauricio effed up.
Yeah, I agree. I think like you have to give a fair amount. You have to have more of a conversation. It shouldn't be like, "Hey, I'm leaving," and then like, "Bye."
Yeah. Kyle also, again, they start talking about Kyle's marriage. You guys, Kyle gave nothing. She gave nothing this episode. I love Kyle, and I'm so disappointed in this episode. They talk about the whole trust is broken, when and he wants to ask her about it. Andy asks her about it, and she says, "Well, there were rumors that came, and rumors can, I agree, affect." Chantal, I'm laughing at that TikTok I sent you.
Oh my gosh, you
I
guys.
just thought about that, you guys. There is this TikTok about, like, a work wife and how the men, when they go back to their family life, how they act. You guys, I'm gonna please message me so I can send it to you guys so you guys can laugh. Um, but, like, that basically the rumors, she was saying the rumors would get to her sometimes. Like, even if they were rumors, it would get to her. There's still no, like, confirmation that he cheated.
Like that she's insinuating. Yeah, like after today, we still don't know if that's the thing, but like for sure he
Yeah.
did.
You think so? I just, like, usually the girls come out.
But she said that it lost her trust. Like a rumor is not gonna make you lose your trust. I mean, it makes you be crazier and act insecure. Like she did say, she said, it made me insecure. And you could tell Kyle is like a person that is a little bit more crazier, which like I respect. Sometimes you just be crazy with these boys.
Oh, I'm
And
like Kyle about the Dancing with the Stars
oh
thing.
yeah, absolutely. You guys like I would be crazy, crazy, crazy,
I'm
crazy.
just like that because they asked, if you and Mauricio were together, not separated, would you allow Mauricio to be on Dancing with the Stars? She straight up said no. And I said, bitch, same. I would never. Like, I would never. The amount of close, and if that makes me like insecure, crazy, whatever, I've seen too much in my day, you guys. I've seen way too much. The closeness, the way they have to act, like the bubbliness of the no, 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 no. So I was with Team Kyle here. I would be the same exact way.
Oh yeah, like my husband just bought a small coffee shop. Remember I was telling you, like
Oh
I
yeah.
snapped it, and there's like 8 baristas. I was like, I want to meet every single one. Let's go. And I've been like going every morning to see who's there.
Yeah, literally. She sent us a whole Snapchat of she's like, all right, I'm meeting the next barista. To sure, but we're scary, Chantel. We're toxic, but I swear. One thing everyone has to do is grocery shop. So why not do it from the comfort of your couch? For me, that's where Thrive Market comes in. The no junk food, healthy grocery store that even my kids love, which is a huge plus because my kids are constantly snacking on things. Thrive Market is my go-to for all grocery and household essentials, and the convenience of getting everything online, then quickly shipped to my doorstep is a huge time saver, especially with 3 little ones and working full time. I love that Thrive Market carries brands with the highest quality ingredients and sourcing methods. They restrict hundreds of ingredients across their food and cleaning categories, and I can use their on site filters to suit my lifestyle needs. Not only do I save time shopping as a Thrive Market member, but I also save money on every single grocery order. On average, I save over 30% each time. They even have a deals page that changes daily and always has some of my favorite brands, some being Molly's Suds, which I use for sink scrub, laundry, and organic giggles, fruit chews, all things my kids love. Save time and money and shop Thrive Market today. Go to thrivemarket.com/TRH for 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's thrivemarket.com/TRH. thrivemarket.com/TRH. So another thing that they talk about is obviously the Morgan Wade stuff. And basically Kyle says that this is what we've been waiting for. And I just wanted some pushback. Kyle says her and Morgan Wade don't have a romantic relationship, but she isn't certain what could happen in the future. And I just wish Andy questioned this more.
I think he did. I feel like he tried to ask
Really?
all the questions. He was like, "Are you guys together? Do you like her? Like, and then what do you ladies think? Like,
But she
are you
still
in a
didn't give us
relationship?"
anything.
I know. She just was like saying like,
She
you never
said,
know what could
I no,
happen."
she said, "I love her. She's my friend and I love her." That's
Yeah.
all she said. And I was like, "Wait, what does that mean?" They did ask about the music video and, she was like, "Well, I mean, I was a little bit curious." And I was like, "Okay, okay. So like, what do you have to say to people who say it looks like you guys cuz it looks like it's like a girl like not a girl crush, like an elementary school crush, a high school crush, like that they come off very playful with each other. Morgan comes off touchy. There was like a Watch What Happens Live episode in the behind the scenes. Morgan's grabbing onto her hip. Like I would never grab Chantel's hip like that. That was weird.
I just
So
Yeah, go ahead,
yeah.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just wish that like she could have just said, "Listen, I have a bunch of friendships. This one has felt different. I don't know what it is yet. I don't know. I don't know
Yes.
what it is, but yeah, I felt different. She makes me feel things that I've never felt in a friendship, in a relationship, whatever you want to call it, but like literally just say that there is something there.
Yeah.
You don't have to say in your relationship because you really didn't tell us that, but like clearly there is something there. And I'm happy Dorit spoke out and said, on Instagram, it looked like you guys are dating.
Yeah, which you could see Kyle was raging with that. She said, "Is she look like your girlfriend?"
Yeah, and then Crystal was so scared. She's like, "Yeah, you guys look like I thought they're." And she goes, and Kyle's like, "What? From where? From where?" And she's like, "Through people." She
Which
goes, "Well,
but
you
I
guys
don't
look
get that. Like we're all seeing you two in the media together.
like what is a picture? A picture can say 1,000 words. It just doesn't to see you in
Right.
person. Like if you're sitting on Morgan's lap or Morgan's sitting on your lap in a picture, yeah, they might think something, you know. And then also like she's with Kathy trying to get it out of Kathy, and Kathy probably has no idea what's happening either.
Yeah. Andy asked, like, what was it with your marriage though? And, like, what's the actual reason? Like, this doesn't happen overnight, whatever. And she says the reason she's not going to talk about it is because it's nobody's fucking business.
Yeah, she went in. We're like, okay. But then you'll throw tidbits like, oh, he's looking for a house.
Yeah.
He's the one that's looking. Like he probably was the one that said it like first. So she's probably annoyed by it. And now she's like the one saying it. Like he's looking for another house. So it's like, okay, if it's no one's business, then you're giving us tidbits. Like just give the whole story at this point.
Yeah, exactly, and she says, like, "Trust was broken." So now we're all looking at Mauricio like, "You cheater, you asshole." And then Kyle says, "I have a family to protect." And it's like, okay, your family is seeing everything that we're seeing right now. Like, they're seeing everything that we're seeing. We're all having these thoughts. They are having those thoughts. I'm sure you had to have conversations with them. So I just feel like Kyle really still gave nothing.
I agree.
And it's gonna make more people question her and question Mauricio and all this stuff. And Kyle says that, like, they've talked about who's gonna move out. Mauricio's gonna move out. I think that's fair. And yeah, I mean, it's over between them.
Yeah, like I don't unless something like crazy happens that makes him really think like about life a little bit more or something, then I can see him maybe like coming back. But it does, and she says it doesn't seem like anything has changed with Mauricio. Like I think it was in his court. It felt like she was saying, and he did nothing to make anything change or make anything different. So
Right.
then she's not going to do anything. So it's like, okay, then we're clearly both not wanting this relationship.
I thought it was a great episode. I'm just very disappointed in it as well.
Yeah, it was interesting to watch though.
Yeah, it was like definitely my favorite part
But
of
you know
all.
what's you know what's you know what's crazy too? Another thing too with Kathy and Kyle, like Kathy is so funny how she literally needs to feel wanted. Like she literally needs it to be where Kyle goes to her and goes, Kathy, you're like the only one I've said this to, but me and Maria are having problems. And then she'll feel so like good about the relationship. It's like she literally needs to be the mom and feel so like confided into.
That's how my mom is.
And that bothers me a little bit though, because she's like, yeah,
I
like
think
like
I
she
think
loves
some moms act like that, and Kathy always was older, so, like, she kind of felt like an older mom more than an
yeah,
older sister.
yeah.
Because my mom does the same stuff where she's like, "I just wanna feel, like, needed, like, I need you to say I love you more, I need you to say this," and I'm just like, "But I'm not like that, mom, like, I love you, but I'm not like that, like, I don't know how many times you want me to say it."
Yeah.
So Kathy's very sensitive, and my mom is very, very sensitive.
Yeah,
Oh
you
my
can tell. You can tell
god.
that, like, the whole family is sensitive.
These shows bring out our trauma, huh?
Yeah.
Just kidding. All right, so let's get into Summer House. What did we think of Summer House? We are
Yeah.
recapping episode 4.
Yeah, if you guys haven't heard our last episode, we talked, like, about all of our thoughts leading up to this episode, so go listen to that, because that was fun, and we answered, like, some various questions that you guys had for us, like, recapped it and stuff, but, yeah, I love Summer House, like, I thought episode 4 was amazing. I think we're seeing the same thing kind of repeated happen a little bit from last weekend, but I'm loving the vibe. I mean, I did miss Paige this episode because she wasn't in it, so I do feel like she's missed, and I thought she wasn't, like, all the way in it this season, but I see her missing when she's not there. It felt
Yeah.
like something was missing, if that makes sense.
Well, Lindsay and Carl come for another weekend, and it's a shit weekend again. Like these two just can't get along. You can tell that if Carl breathes, Lindsay's not happy.
Yeah. Well, we started the episode off with Wes, Gabby, Justine, Sierra in the car, and the new guy and Wes are becoming bros. You can see that, like or what's his name, Jesse and Wes are
Yeah,
becoming
Justin.
bros. And they asked Sierra about the date, and you can tell Sierra and him are vibing in the beginning of this episode. Like they're liking each other. I think Sierra's liking the attention. Wes is like excited that a pretty girl likes him. So it's like really funny watching that. And yeah, then we get to Lindsay and Carl. They get to the house first, and Lindsay like does not want to be near him, but she does explain. It feels like they're in like the COVID times where they're always around each other, day and night, and then the weekend comes and they're with each other again. Like he doesn't have a 9 to 5 job, so like I can see like spouses getting annoyed or people getting annoyed of each other. What do you think about
Yeah.
that? But like it is a little too much. It's like Lindsay, like it's funny that Lindsay's the one that's acting annoyed.
Yeah, because Lindsay is always like too much on every guy. Lindsay doesn't know what Lindsay wants. Like, first, she wants someone who is with her nonstop, giving her attention. Then she has it and she's like, it's too much.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, no,
it's
I can
like
I can
figure
see
figure
that.
out your life, girl.
Literally. So,
Yeah.
Kyle and Amanda come in and like it's so funny. Kyle's like, we were at a wedding and weddings are a form of therapy. And Roxanne, did you feel that way at my wedding?
Why did he say I don't
He
know.
said
I
that
just
because, like, when, like, the like when like you're listening to this, the person give out speeches about love and like what you should be doing in a marriage and why marriages are this, like you kind of feel more connected to your wife, or you're like, or it's like another reminder, like, yeah, see, like that's what he's saying, like, see, like that's what we should be doing with each other, and it made them feel bonded again.
yeah, I mean, I left, like, especially what is it? This not this the ceremony or the church part?
The officiant.
Yeah, and I've always been like, "That was beautiful." Like, that was a good reminder.
Yeah, see, like, so I think
Yeah.
that's what Kyle felt, and that's what he was saying, so it's just funny, because that relationship, is a roller coaster, them
But,
2.
I mean, they seem like they're doing very well. I mean,
Yeah,
like, at
no, I
least in
know.
this episode was really nice watching
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
And Amanda was giving him praise because she's like, "Wow, he's doing a nice," so that wedding really did them justice. But
And that's all a guy wants is praise.
I know, it really is, like, that's
Yeah.
smart. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna say something really nice this weekend in front.
Oh
Yeah,
gosh,
he
I'm
loves
dying.
I know,
I
he
know, my
loves words
mine
of
too.
affirmation.
Like, he
Huh?
literally mine too. He literally gets, like, so excited.
And that's the hardest thing for me, you guys. I can't, like, it's so hard for me to do words of affirmation because, like, I'm not that.
Me
But
too. I'm the same way.
yeah, because 'cause we're like, "Okay, it's enough."
I know, right?
They go out for dinner night 1. Lindsay gives a speech, and she's happy with the more masculine energy, and which I can feel too. Like this, I feel like this is the first season where it's like guys and girls are even. Usually, it's like the girls are dominating,
Yeah.
and so I feel like the guys are feeling good. They're feeling good. They have new energy, and like the girls are feeling that too. And like Carl starts doing this like weird immature thing, and you can just tell she gets so annoyed with his personality
Everything
because
he does.
I know, because she's like, "I'll give the ring back." And everyone got very awkward that she said that. But, I didn't think it was that big a deal. I can see people making a joke, and sometimes, like, it goes too far a little bit. But, like, she was just like, "I'll give you the ring back if you continue to, like, bark like a dog." But what did you feel about her?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's that big of a deal that she said that. Like the way that Kyle and all of them were like,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, you guys, just calm
Yeah.
down. Like, calm down. Like, we
Same.
all
I'm like,
say
I could.
shit.
Yeah, like, and that's like the worst thing is like you don't have to like always be feeling like you're getting analyzed for every single thing you're saying or jokes that you're making. Sometimes it could be too much, but
That would make me, by the way, like not want to act or ever say anything wrong about my relationship with people like that.
yeah, exactly. Like that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
just let people let loose a little bit. But maybe because of all the tension and all the things surrounding them, that's why they're like, oh, it's not like
Yeah.
a one-off joke here and there. But they all want to go out, and I love how Amanda just always stays true to herself, and she's like, I'm going home, and everyone goes out because like it's so much
I
pressure to
love that.
yeah, it's like so much pressure to feel like you're like a cool girl and being fun and like not being boring. But she's like, no, I'm gonna go back. Like, bye, I'm not going back out.
At our age, Chantal, like we're 31, that's the last thing I'd want to do.
I'm a type of person that if I go out to dinner, I like to go to one other place, but I don't like to stay there for
No.
long, and I don't want to go to a third place. So like, don't like. I hate when people like to bounce around bars to bars. Like I don't like doing that. I'm like a one dinner to go out one more place, have another drink, and then I'm going home. Like I don't want to be out till 4 in the morning. I don't want to go to a club. Like please do not. Like but I
I'm
don't
like,
mind.
I just wanna go to dinner and that's it,
Yeah,
and I
you're
don't
boring.
and if I'm going to dinner at 8:30, like, I'm like, "Why are our reservations so late?" And I hate it. But it's like, I'm not like if I go at, like, 6:30 or 7, I stay out late, like, I'll come home at 11:30 or something, and it's fine, but I just hate, like, leaving at, like, 8:30 or 9. At that point, you're just tired and you're just over it. You don't even wanna leave the house.
Yeah, I think it's a parent thing right now for
It
you.
could be. I never liked going out, though. I never did.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I'm
So
a bum.
right after that, we see Carl get home, and you can tell he's annoyed, but like we don't know what happened. And then Lindsay comes right in after, and this is like the second weekend now that she apparently accuses him of being on drugs. And then she
Lindsay's the most annoying drunk ever.
seriously, and that's I think that's the biggest thing. Like I think the biggest thing is she keeps saying that Carl is getting mad that she's drinking, and Carl's like, "Listen, I'm not getting mad that you drink. I get mad that the way you act when you drink. Because
Yeah,
if you were a fun-go-lucky person, I wouldn't care.
right.
But when you get aggressive and when you get like, he said detective, accusatory, and gaslighting, all these things, that's when I'm gonna get mad that when you're drinking. And I agree with him. Like, no one wants to see that every single time their person drinks. That's very annoying.
Yeah, exactly, and it's not like Carl can drink with her, like, where he can just whatever, like, ignore it and, like, be in his own world, like, when I'm pregnant and my husband drinks and I'm sober as hell, I get annoyed with him more.
Yeah.
So but, like, when we're both, like, drinking, like, it's completely fine, but, I mean, like, the way Lindsay is when she's drunk, she's not a good drunk. There's we always say this, there's 2 type of drunks. There's drunks that are, like, they get loosened up a little, they're having fun, a little bit more confident, or a drunk that's like aggressive, problematic, and annoying. That's exactly what Lindsay is.
Yep. And so this is where it gets like, whoa, like, she comes back, she's in the house, and she starts explaining to Amanda, and she starts saying like he's Jekyll and Hyde, he's smoking
So
mirrors,
dumb.
he's so nice to everybody, but he's so mean to me. And I started to feel bad. Okay, I started to feel bad a little bit, and I was like,
No.
listen, I know, I was like, I don't think one is more right than the other. Sometimes, like, I think the relationship is wrong for both of them, and we've been knowing that since last summer. And so they're both in the wrong here. But then, because I started to say, maybe we don't know everything. But you guys, when we get to the ending of this episode and I watch their them fighting, and she's like, see, you're yelling at me. You're going crazy.
I hate that, by the way, when people do that.
Roxanne, because we are the Carl that we raise our voice a little bit. And then when someone says to us, you're being crazy, you're screaming at me, it's like, I'm not
They
screaming at you.
latch on to that. They latch
Yeah.
on to that, and it's like, "Okay, like, calm down. Like, now you're gonna make this about my tone. Like, calm down." Well, what we forgot is, like, that she brought up how he smokes weed, which, like, I didn't know he still smokes weed. Obviously, he was, like, addicted to coke and Adderall and all that stuff, but I didn't I thought, like, he was sober from weed too. Like, she's just trying to throw him under the bus. She's like, "Did you smoke weed? Did you smoke weed?" And it's like, "Bitch, you're the one who's drunk, has been drinking since noon. You're the problem. It's not my weed." Then she says to him, "You're the biggest gaslighter I've ever met. You're literally like Tom Sandoval right now."
Oh yes.
I
Yep.
mean, calm down, girl.
And that made like that's like he's like, bye. I'm sleeping in a different room. I'm not even
Yeah,
sleeping
he doesn't
near
want to
you.
fight when she's in this condition. Like, who wants to
Yeah.
fight with someone? Like, I'm too sober for this and it's not going to go anywhere. But she's the type who will keep going and going and going.
I think she wanted to make the point that like you come at me sometimes for drinking and I act different, but when you smoke weed, you act different. So I think she just wanted to say like you're not all innocent of like not having a vice. I think that's what she was trying to do, but like it's also like okay, but right now he wasn't doing that. So like what is like you're just acting you're the one that's in the wrong.
She called him a terrorist too. I
Yeah, no,
remember. And then,
she literally
yeah.
called him a terrorist. She called him like smoke and mirror. Like she said it like crazy things that like I was like, okay, I'm starting to feel a little bad. Maybe we don't know. But then when I saw them actually literally fighting at the end of the episode, and she's like, this is exactly what you were doing in the car. I'm like, okay, what he was doing is not even that aggressive, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I don't think that's that crazy. I don't think he's being a terrorist. So it's like, okay,
No
Lindsay,
one
you're
wants
very
to be with
sensitive.
someone also who constantly is like, "Why are you so aggressive with me? Why are you a gaslighter? Why are you a narcissist? Why are you like?" And it's like Carl's like cool, calm, and collective, and he constantly has to be told that he's acting a certain way with his girl that he's not, and he has to defend himself. Like, no one wants to be in a relationship where you're constantly on the defense. It's so exhausting.
And you can tell they've had a lot of work in therapy about communication because, like, they always use that. Like, you're not being
Yeah,
communicative towards me correctly. Like, you're not. It's all this communication thing. It's like you guys are talking a lot. Let's like talk a little less, and maybe you guys will be
yeah.
better at with your
Right.
fights because you guys are doing too much. But one thing that we noticed is that the next morning, like the house starts talking about them a little bit, and Danielle gets up and she removes herself, and then in her confession, she just is saying like I'm trying to stay out of it, even though I really want to say what I'm feeling, but I don't want to do that. And I think she's been such a great friend. Like,
I do
Roxanne, I
too.
still think you owe her the biggest apology.
I don't know. I can't believe when we met her, you told her that I was like Team Lindsay and not on her side.
Yeah, because you were like, if you guys remember, if you guys were with us last summer, or like last time we were recapping Summer House, me and Roxanne would go at it because I was so on Danielle's side and Roxanne was in Delulu's side, and it's biting her
Yeah.
in the ass.
No,
So
Danielle is doing the right thing.
yeah, I think so too. I think she's being a great friend because she is the person that should be saying stuff. Like she could be the one saying stuff because she knows them both very well. And she's like, you know what, not my fight. They're gonna figure it out. And me
Right.
saying things is not going to help the situation. So I love
Exactly,
that
yeah.
for her.
Yeah.
And um
You know, Jesse is so funny because I wrote this down. He's like, God bless his heart because like he's scared for them, and he's like, shouldn't it be fun? Like, shouldn't it be like?
Yeah.
And it's Jesse. Sorry to break it to you, it's not that fun sometimes when you're engaged. It's really stressful. And I think Gabby
Yeah.
said in her confessionals, like, listen, I've seen people like fight a lot, and you do fight a lot when you're engaged. It's not the fun. It's not fun, but it shouldn't be to this point. It shouldn't be to where
Right.
you're attacking each other's actual core personalities and like not being able to have fun and like you should be fighting about wedding stuff. Like, no, I don't want this, I want this, or you're not, supporting me in the wedding as much as I thought you were. You shouldn't be fighting about other things other than the wedding.
Right.
Yeah, so then Carl ends up, they're not talking still at this point, and like Carl starts explaining to the guys, what happened for him, and he starts getting very
He's miserable.
emotional. Yeah, he's miserable. He starts getting very emotional. I feel for him. I feel so bad for him. He's probably like, what the heck am I like? What the heck is happening all of a sudden? Um, we get to them going out, and Sierra says something that like she's like, she doesn't like that she felt that Wes was like kiss and telling. But do you think he kissed and he told like, or you think she's starting to get the ick a little bit?
I mean, yeah, like, okay, Sierra, don't act like you didn't tell your girlfriends about that.
Yeah, so it's
Don't
like,
act like you didn't call up Paige and say that. It's like, okay, calm down. Now you're looking for a problem.
yeah, because she's like, I'm a private person, but it's like, okay, then maybe just have a conversation with him and he'll correct it and
Yeah.
not do it. So
Yeah, and say, "Hey, I'm not gonna tell Paige or anybody," and, like, you don't need to tell Carl and Kyle about anything, or Jesse.
yeah, so I am curious to see like what ends up happening with them too. This thing. But the last thing is that Kyle brings up to Amanda and says, he's like, I'm happy with where we're going, but he's like, he kind of brings up, like, what do you think about couples therapy again? And she shuts it down, which she's like, it's not for me right now. And I feel like it's so odd to see a guy asking for couples therapy and the girl saying no. It's usually the other way around. Like, what did you think about that?
I don't honestly, I think it's because, like, she knows, like, this is who I am, like, the things that you get mad about, it's not going to change, accept it, you know that the one thing that I care about is, like, I've always wanted to be a mother. If you want to go to therapy for yourself to be able to, like, explain why you feel the way you do or whatever, then you could go and do that. I really don't I kind of agree with Amanda, like, I don't feel like they both need it.
Yeah, I like again, she stays true to
I think
herself.
we
So
all focus as when we're married, I think we all focus on little things that we don't need to be focusing on, you know? And
yeah.
it's like we like kind of like look for a problem.
Or again, like you said, like it's like, how about you just focus on yourself and then maybe the relationship will just get better by
Yeah,
you doing
yeah,
that because you're
right,
focused more on what you want and what you think, and then you can become a better communicator, and then maybe she'll follow suit. And then
right,
you don't need to both go and just complain about each other or like talk about
right,
each other the whole time.
yeah.
But yeah, that's like the episode because what we saw is like Carl and
Well, no,
Lindsay.
at the end,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, well, the ending part is they finally do have that conversation, and that's the one we keep referencing where he's literally doing nothing wrong at all, and he's actually communicating so efficiently, and she keeps doing the aggressive stuff, and she keeps saying, like, he's acting a certain way, he's yelling, he's doing this, he's what and he's not doing any of that, and it's like, these 2 cannot communicate, but Lindsay is the biggest red flag of it all.
Oh my gosh, like it's like if I was fighting with her, I would just like I would cry.
He and you could tell, like, he's over it, like, there's no blind side, he's so over it, dude, like, watching it, he's so over it. I think Lindsay thought that she was gonna get the Sandoval stuff, like, even her bringing that up was probably the most ickiest thing she could have done to Carl and be like, "You're acting like Sandoval." She thought she was gonna get the Ariana treatment, and I think we all kind of, when it first happened, were like, "Oh my gosh, like, how could he do that?" But watching it, it's like, "Oh my gosh, absolutely, he should have done that. Thank you for being a man and doing that before you walk down the aisle with her."
Yeah, and I think like they said, I think he said that one time in an interview, like just watch it and like I think you guys will like understand my side a lot. And yeah, absolutely. Because to me, the thing that's weird, like, and the one thing that gets me so mad is that it's always Carl having to bring her and say, "Hey, do you want to talk now?" This is the second time that he gets
Right.
that. It's like, why do you think you're a princess? Why do you think you're a queen and you're waiting for him to come to you every single time? You're the one that started this.
Yeah, she's too much. Carl did go and watch It Happens Live as well right after the episode, and I didn't like it because I was, like, Trishelle was on it from Traders, and it really pissed me off because anytime Andy asked Trishelle something. She's like, I'm a girl's girl, so like I'm team girl, or I'm a girl's girl, like I'm team Lindsay. I'm a girl's girl. Like she should have never, like Carl should have never asked to get the engagement ring back. And I was like, shut up. Like this is about.
Oh,
It's not about like girl's girl. It's about what's right and what's wrong. Like that, you could still be a girl's girl, but like, hey, you're wrong in this. So that was so annoying, and I'm sure Carl was getting so mad at that. But yeah,
think- like we talked about last time, but like I think in general, like if you got engaged and you broke it up, you should give the ring back, and it shouldn't even get to the point where they have to ask for it.
yeah, like what the hell?
And
Just give
that's
it
like he
back.
really screwed you so hard. Like there's some certain circumstances, like there is some circumstances, like
Yeah,
if
where
he
you want to be
cheated-
bitter, like he cheated on you
if
and
he
had like
cheated
this
on you and you
relationship.
had no idea, motherfucking keep that ring. How about you sell you go
Right.
get you something nice, okay? Like,
Yeah.
but if it's something that's like, you know, like you're just not getting along and like you guys, it's probably better for you two, Lindsay. He probably saved your life right now by not marrying him, like getting married to each other. Like, just give the ring back. And yeah, but maybe Lindsay is bitter a little bit because she did pay for a lot of things like during that year.
Oh
And maybe
yeah.
she's owed it. So maybe like she's like, you know what? I want like you. This is the least you owe me.
But still, like, just give it back, dude. Just give it back, especially because what we're watching her on TV. Like, you do not look like a princess here. You do not look like the victim. Carl looks like he was beaten. I'm not even joking. So, not actually, but like he just looks like, you know, like he like is drained. Like he really does look drained. Like I don't know.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, Summer House.
Hopefully we see at least a one good weekend. But I don't think so. I think we're not gonna see that, you guys. I think we're gonna keep seeing it go downhill and downhill and downhill.
And he said he has no regrets doing what he did, and I truly don't blame him. So
100%.
Yeah. Well, guys, we hope you have a great weekend. Thanks for listening to our recaps. If you can join us on Patreon, we can do 1 or 2 extra episodes a week, which is nice. But thank you guys for all the support. Have a great weekend. Bye, guys.
Hey everyone, it's Chris Frangiola, and I'm the host of your new favorite podcast, Cover to Cover. Each week on Cover to Cover, I scour the world's newspapers to bring you the craziest stories in fashion, music, pop culture, food, you name it, we give you the comedy angle on all of it. If this sounds up your alley, listen to Cover on the iHeart app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.